Hey everybody, welcome back to my studio, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I want to talk about the 5 biggest mistakes I have seen so far in 2023 when it comes to printing. Now, these are things I go through every day. So who am I and why do I know so much about printing? Well, my name is Mike Patterson. I run Patterson Photography and First Choice Photo here in Southern Alberta. I have been a professional printer now for over 38 years. Wow. Every time I say that, it sounds like I can't be that old. I've run some massive labs. I've run E6 labs, which are slide labs. I've run C41 labs, which are color labs. I've run enlarging labs. I've done it all. And currently, I own my own full-service lab here in Southern Alberta. I have 5 printers that I print on, up to 24 inches by 60 inches or 80 inches long. I do laminating. I do framing. I've printed for myself thousands of images, and I print tens of thousands of images a month for other people. So I know a lot about framing. I'm not coming at this from some guy who's printed once or twice, or some guy who sends his stuff away and then gets it back and can't figure out why it's not the best quality. So let's go through 5 of the biggest things that I see so far this year in printing mistakes. In no particular order, but this is the top one that I've been dealing with lately from a couple customers, and that is stop buying frames and then trying to make prints fit in the frames. Big mistake. Dealing with it right now. Some great pictures. Customer wants them to fit in some square frames. They don't want white around them. They don't want to crop the images, but they're shot 16:9 proportions. Guess what? Will not work. But they went out and bought all the frames already, and now they're in trouble because they can't return the frames. They have the frames. Now they need the prints to fit the frames. And yeah, guess what? They're stuck. I see this a lot. I see this over and over and over and over again from photographers who go someplace, get a good deal on a bunch of frames, buy them, and then they need to make their pictures fit there. It doesn't work that way. Get your pictures printed, then get the frames. If you're looking for frames at a deal, if you're trying to get something at a lower price, if you go and find some frame sizes, then go to your printer and see if those images will fit in those frames. Don't buy a bunch, get stuck with them, and then have no way of using them. Big mistake. It happens constantly. I have several artists that I deal with that have gone out and they've bought tons of frames, glass, mats, and now they can't get their images to fit those frames. It was a good deal. They got a great price in the frame world on them, but they can't use them. So stop doing that. Number 2. And this is a big one. This happens constantly. I don't care what camera you shoot with, what manufacturer, how good your camera is, whether it's mirrorless or DSLR, whether it's a 20 megapixel, 40 megapixel, 80 megapixel, 2000 megapixel, a trilobite pixel. I don't care how big the files are. I don't care if you shoot in RAW or JPEG, but stop uploading low-res pictures to your cloud site. Stop sending yourself pictures texting them to yourself, or people texting them back and forth, or stop emailing them in low-res, letting your program knock them down, and then expecting to get good pictures from them. It doesn't work. Absolutely, positively does not work. So stop doing it. Again, constantly I have this happening. People come in, they've shot some pictures, they've edited them in Photoshop, in Lightroom or whatever, they've exported them in really good quality, and then for some reason they've texted them to themselves, or they've uploaded to their phone using a Google Drive or whatever, and had that downsize it so it didn't take as much space, and then they come in and these things are low resolution. And then they holler at me that they have a Canon R5, that they have this great medium format camera, that they ran it through this giga whatever program, and they've upsized it to this, and they've shot it in RAW, and they've transported it and exported it and re-imported it, and so it's a massive file, and I have to tell them, it's not a good file. I'm dealing with that right now again with another client. Some amazing pictures they had shot. The photographer sent them to them. They texted the files to the person. That's all they had. Then they erased the files. Don't do that, people. Burn them to not burn them, but save them to a USB stick. Burn them to a disk. Upload them full res to an online storage so your client can download them, but stop this. Nature wildlife photographer is just as bad. I don't know how many people have come in here to show me pictures on their phone, and then they go, yeah, I want this one printed as a 16 by 24. And I said, well, how high of resolution is it? Oh, I don't know. It's just on my phone here. And then by the time they get it to me, it is so tiny that it's not worth printing. So keep your files full size. Save them to a USB stick. Bring them to your printer that way, or upload to their site from the high resolution files. All right. Number 3, and this is probably going to be number 3, number 4, and maybe even number 5. But it's all the same, and it's a big one. When editing your pictures, first of all, edit them so that you can go back and correct your edits. So if you're using adjustment layers, if you're using layers, whatever you're doing, make sure you're saving them as layers so that you can go back and fix it if you've done something wrong. Again, this is usually what happens. People come in, they upload their files to their computers at home, at work, wherever. They go through, they start editing the pictures. They're really hyped. They're really excited. They go through and they do this, that, and the other thing. They add sharpening, they add saturation, they add this, that, and the other thing. Then they save it as a flattened TIFF or a PSD or a JPEG or whatever. And then they bring it into me, or they look at it the next day and they go, ooh, I ruined this picture. Yeah, don't correct in a way that you can't go back and adjust it. Very first thing. Second thing is, within that same realm, when you adjust an image, save it, shut your computer off, go do something else, come back at it and look at it 24 hours later, 48 hours later, and see what you think then. So many people edit, send to print, and they don't even realize what they've done to it. They're so excited, they're hyped up, they may be hot and the pictures look one way, they may be really hungry and the pictures will look another way. Take your time, edit it, shut it down, open it up again, look at it again with a critical eye, and make sure you haven't goofed anything up. So many people do this. The next thing, right under when you're editing, people, if you're looking at a tiny little picture on your screen and you're not zooming in to look at it really close, then when you get it printed, don't put your nose an inch from it and start noticing all the flaws. Enlarge your picture and go through it to check for flaws. Check for sensor dust. Check for a flaw in the picture and their subject or anything. Go in close enough so you can see the details. Check them carefully before you get them printed. Plus, this is a freebie. If you're planning on printing a whole pile, or if you're even planning on printing a really large one, get a small one printed first. Take it home, look at it, put it away, take it out the next day, look at it again, have somebody else look at it for you so that they can see something you may not see before you get 50, 100, or 200 printed, or before you have it blown up really huge and then look at it and go, oops, there's a mistake to it. And finally, I know this I've gone over 5, but this is another big one. When you get something printed, you do not look at it from a nose distance away. I get constantly people coming in to pick up a picture and they go like this. And they're looking at it as close as they can possibly look at it. If it's over a 4x6 and you're looking at it that close, you're going to see flaws. I can guarantee from whatever printer, whatever camera, whatever anything, you're going to see flaws. So stop looking at pictures so close. I even have people who bring in loupes and magnifying glasses to look at their 24 by 36s, their 20 by 30s width, and they start going, oh, I can see. No kidding. Anybody can see it when you look that close. Here's a general rule for looking at pictures. 4x6, 5x7, even an 8x10, in that range, you're looking at it about this distance away. Anything above an 8x10, you're looking at it at least 3 to 4 feet away. Up to about 16x24, and then at 16x24, you're looking between 5 and 8 feet, you're looking at a picture. So don't hold it up really close and start tearing it apart and start getting depressed because you can see this and this, that, and the other thing. People, if you're going to look at something that close, yeah, you're going to find flaws. If you go out and buy a brand new car and you go through it with a magnifying glass, you're going to find flaws with it. It's the same way with pictures. So don't get overly concerned when you're that close. And one final one, I have to toss this in too. I know, it's extra. When you're editing pictures, don't edit the pictures for your house or your room or even your computer monitor. Think about where it's going to be displayed when it's printed. Is it going to be displayed in a standard house, a regular house? Chances are it's going to be a little bit darker in there than it is what's on your screen. Is it going to be displayed in an office? Think about what's in the office. Think about if it's going to be a bright room. Think about if it's going to be a darker room. Think about where it's going to be displayed before you do the final balancing. You don't want a really dark print in a really dark room because it'll look horrible. Likewise, you don't want a really bright print in a really bright room because it will look horrible. Okay, one more. I know, it's more than 5. I can't count, okay? When you're getting a picture printed, pick the right media to print on. Not everything looks good on canvas. In fact, a lot of stuff doesn't look good on canvas. Some stuff looks better on fine art paper. Some stuff looks better on luster paper. Some stuff looks better on metallic paper. There's so many different media out there that you can print on. Don't fall into the rut of printing everything on one thing because that's what you've heard. Pick the right paper for the picture or for the type of photography that you do. People don't look good printed in metallic generally. Likewise, scenery generally does not look good printed on a really flat paper. Now, fine art paper can make the right scenery pictures look amazing. Fine art paper can destroy some scenery pictures, so beware of that. Likewise, metallic can make some pictures look horrible. They can make some pictures look great. So pick the right paper. If you don't know what to pick, ask your lab. If your lab doesn't know, find a better lab. So until next time, get out there and take some great pictures. Take some pictures, enjoy them, print them, do it correctly, and I'll see you here in the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.